Okay, well, there's my microphone. I see that. Oh, there he is. Okay, let's switch pictures to my pic. Oh, there's my picture. All right, let me put this thing up. Fascinating. Beautiful song by Leon Russell. Wrote that song. Yeah, Band in the Box is kind of letting me down now, and I'm some sort of again, I've tried to avoid the copyright police, but I also am having trouble because I can't get Band in the Box to work for me right now. So anyway, I'll get it fixed. So anyway, hi guys, this is Mark Teaching Music, and this is Mark. I'm Mark, and this is our To Play and Sing live stream. And what we're all about today is answering all your questions about music. And thank you, Tom. And so I've got your questions here. And this is the 5th day of October. And this is the 19th session. That's pretty exciting to me. And so I'm trying to answer all your questions. If I don't, I'm not going to, if I don't know the answer, I'm just going to say, me no. I don't know. So we're talking about performing and practicing and getting better, and how your personality affects you, and you playing in different ensembles and all kinds of things. How do you tune? I don't want you to ask me this, but what's drop D tuning mean? That's a great question. There's nothing wrong with that. So just anything in the world. If you're interested in lessons, go to www.dallasmusiclessons.com, and if you want to ask questions, put them in the chat thing here. And if you see this after the live stream's over, just send me an email at mark@dallasmusiclessons.com, and I'll try to answer your questions even then. So just jump right in and don't wait. And as you know, if you like it, you hit like, you hit subscribe, you hit the bell for notifications, and you should send me money or a car or something useful. Don't send me Bitcoin because it's kind of unsure where that's going right now. But other than that, we're ready to go. So I'm going to jump in here and answer this question. Here's the first question. Is classical the best kind of music? And the answer is no, not even slightly. There is no best kind of music. And I don't mean that I play as many instruments as I do, and play as many styles of music as I do, just because I don't want to choose. Personally, I don't want to choose something like, I like that song, Mr. Masquerade. Oh my God, it's so heavy. Whoa, it's so, totally cool. And then I'll hear something by Bartok, a classical piece of music, like, oh, that's super cool, and be like, oh yeah, that's it, that's really satisfying. And then I'll hear, Jessica by the Allman Brothers, like, oh, isn't that fun? Yeah, that's really cool. And then I'll hear, a funk piece, or like Corey Wong, or Snarky Puppy. It's like, whoa, those guys are jamming. And then I'll hear, a song by, Tony Rice or whatever, or Tommy Emmanuel, and just like, whoa, so. The best kind of music is, and don't mean this as a cute answer, but it's the music that you like, and then you also have to decide. We have to decide what we like. What are we looking for in music? If you're looking for intellectually stimulating music, music that challenges you. Are you looking for music that challenges you physically? Wow, I can't do that. I want to get better physically. Are you looking for music that challenges you up here? Like, oh, I never thought about that. I never thought about putting this music together. That way, or I don't care about any of that stuff. I just want to have fun. I want to rock out. I want to enjoy my songs. I want to just enjoy music. And I personally do not like Bruce Springsteen, but to me that kind of music is like that. It's kind of like I'm just singing my song, just playing my song, And there's a lot of music that I like, just me, personally, like Hank Williams, Senior and Junior, and that would be like, hey, this is just me singing, playing. So the only way to answer what the best kind of music is not just what you like, but it's also what you're looking for in music. If you're just looking for music to play in the car, then really truly just what you like would be the thing. Just by the way, if you're trying to grow in your taste, and I've said this before, but if this is what you like, you like this, so try to listen on the edges, not stuff you don't like I hate this. Let me get in there. Yeah. So I like this, and here's this music way out there that I don't even care for. Don't do that. but just find something that's on the edge. Everybody's got songs and groups they just love this, and then they have some peripheral songs and musicians and music, and they go like, that's pretty cool. I don't listen to that a lot, but I kind of like that. So you get to those places and start messing around with those places and listen to those things. The next thing you know, you've expanded. So what was this in your taste and interest becomes this, and it can keep growing. And there's not a reason to do that necessarily. So anyway, the best kind of music is the music that is answering your needs and desires. And for many people, and the majority of people, not necessarily in this live stream, they're not looking to be challenged in their music. But most people who are taking lessons or working on music themselves are looking for some kind of challenges. Physical challenge, perhaps an oral challenge, wasn't expecting those sounds, perhaps intellectual challenge. Wow, this goes into other keys. This is making sounds I don't normally hear. And it's in different meters or stuff. So classical in no sense is the best kind of music. Now, again, historically, if we go back 100, 150 years, classical would have been a really very common kind of music, and for hundreds of years perhaps. And so I'm talking about being just like, well, if you're going to study something, you got to study that, So you're not studying the things that the madrigals are singing, or the troubadours or whatever. You could learn anyway. I won't get into that. But so anyway, and then the idea that if I want to learn correctly, I don't want to mess up. I don't want to learn poorly. So I want to learn classical. So classical in one sense is can be formally correct. You wouldn't believe the number though. It's not 100. It's not 80%, but there's a percentage of classical musicians that don't read music, particularly vocalists, and I mean classical vocalists don't read music. So anyway, I'm just talking. So no, classical music is not the best kind of music. Okay. Well, I'll answer that. And the question is, are exercises just busy work? And they sure could be, and lots of, now I say teachers, it's not like, oh my God, I'm the world's most amazing teacher. I'm just saying lots of teachers, that is what they're doing. They're just giving you something that they were given when they were 12, and it could be busy work, or it could be just tradition. It could just be tradition, we're supposed to learn this. I don't really know why. I don't really know how this contributes to the overall awesomeness of your playing, but I was given it, and you need something to do. So I do, and many other, I'd say most, if not all, good teachers would avoid things that are just placeholders. In other words, nothing that, if I can help it, nothing that my students are doing, as an example, nothing that my students are doing is placeholder exercises. They're not doing anything just to be like, well, you need something to do. It's like we're trying to build skills, and skills that apply directly to that person's songs. So if a student says to me, I do not want to ever play any, a guitar student, I don't ever want to play any lead stuff. I don't like lead. So they're not learning any scales. Why should they learn scales? Picking aberrations. I'm saying, like they said, I don't want to play lead, but I do want to play fingerstyle guitar, and so I might get them to play some scales so that they get the finger dexterity with various fingers. But my point is none of it's just a good little thing to do, So people who aren't playing jazz or something, I don't have them learning 72 chord types, because they're assuming, let's say, country and acoustic rock and stuff like that. So they're not going to use. They're not going. They'd be lucky if they used 50 chords total, counting bar chords that could be changed. And what I'm getting at is this: so I'm not going. I don't mean I. So a good teacher's not going to give you. Well, you need to learn. There are over 250,000 chords on the guitar. So I'm not going to give you. Hey, you'll go into these 1,000 chords. Remind me, you guys. I got to show you this book. That's a hilarious book. And along those lines of many chords. So anyway, there's not a purpose in learning. If there's not a purpose in something, let's not do it. So exercise is not busy work, and it's very much of a challenge whenever you are as a student. You're given something that you're supposed to do repetitively. Do this every day, and you'll be a good person. And so we have a challenge. Not well, first off, to not get bored with this thing that you're learning, a skill you're assimilating, but then also, you know, when you have to do something more than once, like you do not try to do I'm going to brush my teeth. You have to brush your teeth every day, right? So you don't go, today's going to be the most amazing brushing. Oh, it's going to be incredible. Nobody ever brushed their teeth like me, you know. And you cut the grass. You don't go, today this is going to be so fast, and I'm going to be just, you know, it's going to look like a piece of glass in my yard. You're not trying to get better and better at something that's repetitive. So the very repetitive nature, constant nature. Every day I got to do these scales or these piano scales or these chord exercises on the piano, and so the very repetitive nature tends to make us do it like boo, 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 just doing it, yeah, and not realizing that and I like this term, is that those exercises are funding your growth. And I want you to imagine I've said, you know, you've heard seen me do this a bunch, but all of music, every single piece, every kind of music, all the dumbest and the most amazing, it's all there, all of it. And when you work on a song, here's this kind of music, whatever it is, let's call it acoustic rock, country, Eagles type, country-ish acoustic rock. So there it is. You learn an Eagles thing. You learn Tequila Sunrise. And so here's this, all the music. And so you learn Tequila Sunrise, you get over here. And so every song that's kind of like Tequila Sunrise gets better. You know, if it's like Tequila Sunrise, I got better, you know, that if they're like Tequila Sunrise. But how many songs, compared to the hundreds of thousands of songs, are like Tequila Sunrise? You know, I don't know, 100, 200. So it's like, well, 200 songs got better because of Tequila Sunrise, but, you know, 200,000 did not, because they're not like that. Exercises, most of your exercises are like, there's the world of music, and most of exercises are like the whole world of music, your world of music. It's a little better. You're working on something, and everything that uses that chord gets better. You know, everything that uses that exercise you're doing gets better. So exercises are funding, causing a lot of growth. Now, if you imagine this exercise, this is what I said. Here's all the music, and you do this exercise. So when I said it funds all the music, it only funds all the music a little bit. Everything gets better, but everything only gets better a little bit. So we do have two approaches. We have do these exercises, do these things that are long-term. Wow, I'm getting better in a big area. And then the other approach, which you need to do, which is, hey, I worked on Tequila Sunrise. Watch me. Check it out. Check my flow. You watch me on Tequila Sunrise. And everything that's like Tequila Flow got not just a little better, got a lot better. You know, Tequila Sunrise got a lot better. And so we do have a balance of things. So anyway, exercises are not just busy work. That's a great question. That's the question that we said last week we were going to do. Okay. Well, here's a real question. Why would somebody ask this question? I don't know. What do a guitarist and a lawsuit have to do with each other? What does a guitarist and a lawsuit have in common? What do they have in common? Everyone is relieved when the case is closed. See, the guitar has a case, and the lawsuit is a case, and everybody's glad when the case is closed. Okay, there you go. Yeah, okay. So remember that. Okay, now, this is a little bit of a scary question here, actually. So here this question is, what is the worst kind of student? Now, I really would like to encourage you, seriously, before I cut other people down, the worst kind of student is not the person who doesn't know anything. That's a great student, you know, because it's like they don't have any bad habits. They don't have any goofy ideas about, or they may, but it's easy to say, no, don't do that. You know, do like this. So that's awesome. A person who doesn't know much, or and obviously a person who's open and, man, please teach me, and please show me this, and please show me that. And another kind of student that is not a difficult person to teach is not somebody who's having problems, you know, because everybody has problems. I have problems. Oh my gosh, you know, and just by the way, it just kills me to improvise, you know, in front of everybody. It's just like, oh my God, no, you know. And but the way to get over it is to do it. So that's what we're going to do. But anyway, so the point is, if you have problems, you need and things you don't understand, and things you're stuck on, that is not a problem. That doesn't. What I'm telling you, don't be discouraged by that. And if somebody is leading you and they're discouraging you because of either that you don't know anything or that you're having problems with things, that's wrong approach, because some problems are very difficult and some people have really big problems. And like I said, I'm not trying to be anything. I'm saying all the students, 3,000 students I taught, 3 or 4 I don't think could learn. And again, that's 1/10 of 1%. So pretty much you're probably safe, and you probably certainly can learn. It's conceivable that you couldn't learn if you have a big problem, but not very likely. Some people have to pay a big price, and I'm talking about a lot of work, a lot of thinking, a lot of restructuring, like, what am I doing wrong? Okay, now, but what is the worst kind of student? So one kind of really bad student, really difficult to teach, is people who are too young. And we're talking not an age like 4. You could be very mature and learn at 4, possible, but mentally, can you sit still? Can you listen? I have students that are 9 and 10 and 11 that, just will not, focus, or, it's like it's a game, not really learning anything, or my parents made me be here, so I don't really have to do anything, I don't want to do anything. So just think about it. That's a very difficult person to teach, because somehow you got to convince them that there's something here worth learning, as opposed to whatever their favorite thing is. And that would go, of course, for older, so teens, and then, of course, adults. But, of course, most adults do not take lessons. That they're taking lessons because they want to learn. They're not taking lessons because their mama made them. If you're 32, hopefully. Let's hope you're not one of those. So too young is a very difficult problem. The hardest student the students that I've had the hardest time with, and I don't know what to call them, is basically people who did music when they were young, 12, 14, 16, 18, could be 20, 22. And then it's 20, 30 years later, and they're coming in, and for some reason that I cannot fathom, they seem to think they know more than me. So they think, like they spent their years becoming a doctor. They spent 30, 40 years becoming a doctor and getting better. They spent 30, 40 years becoming a production manager, getting better and better at that. They spent 30, 40 years becoming a backhoe operator, and boy, they're just amazing at that, and they're so excellent at that. And then I spent all this time being a better musician and learning how to teach people and move them. But for some reason, because when they were 20, they were at the Battle of the Bands in Paducah, Kentucky, they think, they know more about how to learn how to play lead, or, whatever. And so that's a problem. And I wrote down here, they could have been a contender. I could have been a contender. So instead of like the other people we talked about, like, I do not know what to do. Could you show me what to do? Let me help you. Please help me. And I'm like, oh gosh, I want to help you. Those people who think they know what they're doing, and again, the point would be, for some reason unknown to me, because it's kind of like, well, they know the basics, they know the scales, or they know, they know to get down and boogie. I mean that seriously. Go for music, make it exciting, but they do not know. They don't know something because they're here to learn. But for some reason, I'm going to have a long bunch of different little either arguments with them, or I tell them to do something, they don't do it. Like, again, would you go to the doctor? And he says, well, right here, here's your medicine. Take these, and you'll be cured. And then you go to the doctor, and he gives you that, and he says, it'll be cured. And then you say, you take it, and then you don't. You go home and you don't take it, because for some reason you know better than the doctor. Why'd you go to the doctor? So anyway, a student who second guesses the teacher is a very, and I mean that, I've told students, I am so sweet, I'm just the sweetest guy in the world, but I don't do this a lot, but I'm saying, I'm telling you this, for example, Jesus said, a person can't serve two masters. He'll love one and hate the other, or he'll hate the one and love the other. And so I've told students that have two teachers, like, you need to pick, because this guy's telling you not who is right. I don't know who's right. I don't know the other guy at all. But I'm just saying it's like, well, this guy's telling you one thing. This is really, really important, says this guy. And I'm saying, oh, you need to do this thing. It's really, really important. Different thing. So, so I'm just saying, like a person who thinks they know a lot about music for some reason, like they think they themselves are the better teacher, than the person they're taking lessons with. Not a good plan. And I do not mean at all, very different about a professional musician coming to me and saying, or whatever, I've had, all this, but, like not, it's not you, Tom, but I'm a trumpet player. I play professionally. I'm playing out, 2-3 times a week. I want to learn how to sing. I want to learn how to what? So then, of course, that in these examples like this person knows a bunch of things about music, and that is it is correctly the term coaching. Sort of. That's a worth term. Everybody, all the vocalists, by the way, vocal students. I don't know why they're all like, oh, I don't take lessons. I go to vocal coaching, and to me, it's kind of like saying I don't really need any help. I just want somebody to kind of coach me. So most people take voice lessons, although they may call it voice coaching. So anyway, so I'm not talking about a professional who's a good player. I'm talking about somebody second guessing their teacher, and and of course your teacher should be able to demonstrate to everyone, hey, I can get you there. I can get you where you want to be. So and then the third hardest kind of student to teach, and this is not a hard effort, like this is unpleasant to a teacher, but it's hard to get this person to move, and that is, I wrote pro forma. I didn't know quite the way to say it, but somebody who's saying, I did what you told me to. I did what you told me to, and I'm not rejecting what you say at all, but I'm going through the motions, and that person has to catch fire. I wrote, and what I'm saying is I'm agreeing with that. The point is that person to learn has got to be like, wow, that sounded great, or wow, I could learn a lot, or this would be so great if I learned this, and we talked a bunch about the I call them the organics, the naturals, people who learn very quickly, because they have out of I'm gonna call it 9 skills that are essential to be a good musician. They have 2 or 3 of them already, and they have them very strongly. So they go like this. Depending on what they're doing, they may have great gaps in what they do, and but at least from the initial listening to them, or people perceiving, it's like, wow, that guy's really amazing. And all the other people, which includes me and 70% of the professional musicians in the world, including the people whose names you know and think are famous and amazing, they are famous, but you also think they're amazing. They had to work on their skills and get other skills other than just I'm awesome. So to do that, they had to get, and you need to get a fire lit under you. Not that you have to practice 20 hours a week, but that it's like, I'm going to fix this. I want to learn how to play high. I want to learn how to play fast. I want to learn how to play in this funky key. I want to learn, whatever. And that's all based on, it's all based on what you like, the kind of music you like. Again, that's very good. So the worst kind of student, too young, pro forma, I'm just going through the motions. You need a fire and lit in. And then I could have been a contender. If life hadn't happened to me, I would be right up there. In fact, I'd be your boss. In fact, you'd be in my band. No, maybe you probably wouldn't, because I'd be so much better than you. So if you're that, don't do that. So anyway, okay. So I do have time for one more question, and let's see. That question is, well, shoot. So listen, just a little ad, since this whole thing is an ad, really, but a little ad. On Tuesday nights, we have an improvisation workshop, and so we had a song in Mixolydian mode. So the question is, what chord possessions, what chord progressions support playing in Mixolydian mode? Mixolydian mode is the same as the major scale, which is Ionian, except you lower the 7th note, which is called scale degree. Lowers the 7th scale degree. So C, Mixolydian, is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C flat. So You lower the 7th scale degree. That's Mixolydian mode. Now think about those notes if you play any instrument. C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat. Those, guess what, sucker? They happen to be the same notes as in the key of F. So without thinking of it as Mixolydian mode, 6C Mixolydian is F, just starting on C. Now, two questions. No, two answers. So whenever you see, and the reason I said the thing about the improvisation is that if you went to the improvisation workshop yesterday, I talked about I sent a sheet for everybody. We did part of our song was in E flat Mixolydian mode, so I explained Mixolydian mode and wrote the notes out. Anyway, my only point is, so there's two scenarios in which we could use Mixolydian mode. One is over any kind of dominant 7 chord. So C7. So here I am playing a C scale, but the 7th note is lowered. So I go. And I wish that I had prepared for this question. And that is the F scale. Here's the F scale. So over this chord. I had prepared in that I had a little track of C7 behind me. So, and imagine the notes of the dominant 7, which is a type of chord. The notes of the dominant 7, that's C7, A7, B7, G7, just a letter and a 7, nothing else. The notes in that chord are found in the major scale, 4 letter names up, counting that letter name. So A7, the notes in an A7, A dominant 7, are found A, B, C sharp, D. So if I want to play an A, so, but I gotta get this. I want you to notice that's working. So dominant 7. So anyway, the question is, what chord progressions support playing in Mixolydian mode? Dominant 7. The only thing I want you to notice is that about playing in that is that it's a little thoughtful sounding. It's a little thoughtful sounding. So a little thoughty, a little sophisticated. So that just what I mean is that it's not going to sound up in your face, funky or super bluesy. It's going to sound kind of thoughtful. And the other progression, I'm wondering if I could just lay down a little track here. Wouldn't that be great? I don't think I'm set up to record. I have all these things to record, but I don't think I could do this. So I'm going to do this. The other one that supports Mixolydian mode is when you have major chord and then a major chord a whole step lower. Now we can trick this out with all kind of minors and stuff, but just as a regular, is that sucker plugged in? Let's just see if that's going to work. Yeah. Hey, it recorded that. Okay, so check this out. I'm going to make this little recording. So let's put this in. Let's do this in D. Oh no, gotta get rid of this. Sorry. Make a little recording just real quick, and it should be very profitable. So I go. Oh, that didn't do anything. Quit that. I have a rebellious recording. Here we go. So I go. So I'm just trying to get a little background, and let's just see if I can copy that real quick and make it a little fatter. Beautiful. Now this is going to be all gimped up just because. Let's see if it's going to play. See if you guys can hear this. No, I don't think you can. Well, Why can't you hear that? Oh. Well, dude. Oh, I see. Wait, maybe I can fix it. Doesn't look like it. Oh well, maybe I could hear this through this guy. Let's turn this back on. Fixing to be done. Fixing to be done. I'm trying to get this. I don't think you can hear it. I don't know why it's not in the mains. You should be able to hear that really well. But anyway, let's see. Can you hear this at all? I don't think so. Hear that at all? I'm so sorry if this is not, I'm not too excited about this. But anyway, here this song is in the key of D. So I can use D Mixolydian, which is the notes of the G scale. D, E, F sharp, G. It's the notes of the G scale. So we this. So check it out. If you can hear, I'll try to play really soft. This is a nice sound, by the way. Okay, good. Listen. Okay, so wasn't that cool? So there's songs that use that, lots of songs that use that. Let me turn this way down. There's lots of songs that use that progression, and not that, and I don't. It is one of my favorite songs. The song Jessica by. I'm singing completely wrong. It must be in a different key. It usually messes me up. And so, for example, the opening of Sweet Home Alabama uses those two chords, D and C. So anyway, what I said was, really quickly, so what chords support Mixolydian mode? First, again, Mixolydian, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, lowered 7. And so it'll take the key of G, A, B, C, D, E instead of F sharp. We have F natural. So that would be Mixolydian mode. The notes. And notice I said G, A, B, C, D, E, F. That's the notes of the C scale. So what major scale goes with major scale will give us the notes of Mixolydian, and that is take you want to play in, we'll say E Mixolydian. So I'm going to go E, F, G, A. I'm going to play the notes of the A scale. It's got to be over the E chord. Got to be, because if I play an A scale over an A, it's going to sound like A. So anyway, if I want to sound like Mixolydian mode, a dominant 7 chord. So number 2, I have that, let's say, so I got E, E7. Oh, I'm playing the A scale. Wow, it sounds amazing. It sounds interesting. It fits. It sounds a little intellectual, perhaps not getting down in boogie, but cool. Then, second, I want to use the E scale, so I play E and a D. That's me freaking out because it's the wrong pitch. Anyway, so I'm not singing E, D, so it'll be D. So E, D, E, D. My start's going D, 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 D. So I use E Mixolydian, the notes of the E Apple scale, the A scale, over that E and D, and it comes out cool, like we heard a second ago. Now, last thing I want to say about notice. We would like to learn the diatonic chords. The chords, we have the notes of a scale, in the key of A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp. What chords go in the key of A? We take those notes, build some chords. What do you got? You got an A, you got a D major, and an E major. So another way to look at that whole thing, what chords would use E Mixolydian, which is the notes of the A scale? Hey, the scale that's got those two chords. So C and B flat, a C major and a B flat. You don't have to know this. I'm just telling you stuff you might be interested in learning. C and a B flat, that's only found naturally occurring diatonically, normatively, in the key of F. Only the key of F has got a C major and a B flat, and they don't sound unusual. So there you go. Okay, so there you go. Now I think I've said all my thing. And so let's see. What did I answer? I answered the question. Our exercise is just busy work. Is classical music the best kind of music? What's the worst kind of student? It's not you, buddy. I'm talking about all of you. And then what chord progressions support playing Mixolydian mode? And we did ask the question, what's a different, no, that's not, we did that. We said, where did it go? Yeah, no. Well, it's about the guitar player, right? The guitar player, there it is, guitarist in a lawsuit. Everybody's glad when the case is closed. Okay, so again, I'm Mark Blank. This is To Play and Sing. This is the channel to Mark Teaches Music. Yes, To Play and Sing is your questions. Now listen, you should come. You should ask all your questions. You should subscribe, do notifications, send this to people. And as always, until I see you again, I want you to have fun and be awesome. Music is great, and I'm sure you can